I have been a Minecraft player for a very, very long time. And through that time, there's often been things that I feel like, I'm just like, why is this not in Minecraft? The feature requests that I feel like should be in the game. So we're gonna go down a list of things that are currently not implemented into Minecraft that I would be very happy if they ever got developed into the game. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and we are starting first underwater. With the update Aquatic, I thought that a lot more was going to sort of happen with the underwater areas. I'm super glad that we got waterlogged blocks and we're able to basically live underwater, especially with conduit power and some things like that, that really made underwater living fantastic. But one thing that didn't change that I felt like really should is how water and redstone interact. If you have ever been up on the surface and put down a redstone build and then poured water onto it, you know what I'm talking about. But also underwater, if you just go ahead and place any type of redstone down, well, the water will destroy it. It will not waterlog these blocks. There are a few exceptions, like this pressure plate right here, that will not break or that will not pop off, but with a button it does. So you have like this really weird sort of thing. Some things will work and some things will not work. Not all redstone is connected. Specifically, I had a situation in a previous video where I really wanted to, I was showing off some underwater builds. I really wanted to be able to use command blocks. Command blocks obviously can be used underwater, but I had no way of triggering the command block with redstone except for pressure plates, because apparently those things are fine. But as you can see, even with a pressure plate, it gives this really weird unwaterlogged texture. I feel like there's no reason redstone shouldn't be able to be waterlogged. I think that that would be a great thing, and it would allow you to use redstone in your underwater creations much easier without it always breaking. I mean, and they could even still have the effect of, you know, flowing water breaking redstone, but if you actually waterlog the redstone, then that would be awesome. My next two things that I would love to add to the game are very similar in effect. Obviously, they do different things. That's why they are two different things. But basically, I would like a new type of command, very similar to the experience command. So we have this experience command, and I love it because it allows you to add experience. So let's say I would like to add some experience to me, so we could say, you know, 10 in the amount, and you can either choose levels or points. So 10 levels would change my 15 down here to 20, just like that, and then 10 points will add that along the bar. And now that I'm at level 25, it's probably not going to move a ton. There you go. Yeah, so you can see that that just moved up just a little bit. The add command can also be used in negative. So if I use, you know, negative 10, I go from 25 to 15. And you have query, and you also have set, which I absolutely love. So I can set myself to 0 in levels and 0 in points. Now, I'm just showing you this because this is how I wish hunger and health worked. Let's say I'm recording a video all about hunger, and I would like to have my hunger go down so that I could eat more or show off how much food is regenerated from a certain type of thing. Well, what am I to do? There is no hunger, so there's no, you know, hunger command. The only thing you can do is give yourself the effect of hunger and then guess as to, let's say for 1 second, let's say a high hunger amplifier, and we'll just hit enter here. There you go. Okay. No, that didn't do it. Not a higher enough amplifier. Okay, 100. Okay, yeah, that took me down. How much does that take me down? Okay, one little thing. Okay, so maybe let's do a 200 amplifier. Okay, that take me down. I'm just guessing. Like, I have no idea where I am in the, also if like I had already been running around and I had given myself too high of a hunger, I may get myself to the point where I start to take damage. It's basically guessing, completely guessing. Also, if you wanted to check the hunger of a character, you would have to go, I assume that it can be done in command blocks by adding like dummy scoreboard things to check. I assume, I don't know, but it's definitely not easy, and it's definitely not sort of in the game itself. I think it's data get entity OMG Chad hunger? I don't know the path. So maybe, it could be possible. But now on the opposite end, let's say I want to restore my hunger and saturation to a certain level. There's something to do. So I'll just give myself the highest saturation for 2 seconds. Bam, it's done. Now I have full hunger all of a sudden. I feel like it could be done a lot more precisely, just like how levels are done. On the flip side, similar situation with health, although health is slightly different in that you don't have saturation on the back end that's hidden away from the player or the person who's creating the command. But especially with the instant damage command, which is the easiest way to take your health down. Let's say I give myself instant damage 1. That takes away, or that's actually just normal instant damage for 1 second, by the way. So if we give 1, you can see it takes away a lot of hearts, okay? Way more than I would want. If I do, like, I'm like, can I do 0.1? No, it can't do that. So you can see that it's a very imprecise way. If I only wanted to take away a single heart, once again, I'm sure that could be done with much more complicated commands. But as a person who's like, why isn't it as easy as the experience command? By the way, the experience command actually has the experience option, and then it also has the XP option, which I think is really cool. It does the same stuff. So if you wanted to know, you could just do it. Like I want health and hunger to have its own command. This next addition is pretty small, and I think that it is pretty simple. Basically, I would love a way for, oh my gosh, I keep clicking the wrong thing. I would love a way for you to be able to rename a button and that to show up above the button. So I just named this button on, but whenever you place this button down, and here, let me get a block that isn't stone so it doesn't disappear. So let's put this granite down, and you put this on the stone, well, it just loses all that data. There's no, you can't tell that button was renamed to on. Now, in contrast, if you were to put that button in an item frame, you can see the effect that I'm going for. Whenever I hover over that item frame, then the on word shows up, and you can sort of get what I'm talking about by having a button and an item frame on the same block, because you can pull that off. But the moment that you look at the button, then the word goes away. So I think make it very similar. They're simple, and this is a very small addition that I think I'm the only one who wants, is just to be able to rename a button in a anvil, and then whenever you hover over that button, that word would show up, and it could be done in survival. I think it would add a really, really cool effect. This next addition is another quality of life thing that I would love just from making so many videos. This was the start of an arena build that I actually have over there, but this one still has all of the armor stands in it. And I wanted to do a lot of stuff with armor stands with this build, but it was really difficult to make sure that all the armor stands had the appropriate stuff and they all had arms. And it was really frustrating because I had been working with command blocks and with the chests, and with both of the chests and command blocks, let's say, so we have this diamond armor command blocks, and it has this whole command inside of it: replace entity, OMG craft armor head, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you hold down control and then you click the pick block button, you'll see that you pick it up with NBT data. So when I put it back down, it has all of that command already pre-filled inside of it. And you can do the same thing with a chest. If I was to put this command block inside of a chest, hold down control when I pick the block. Now I have a chest with NBT data. You can see the two differences. That's a normal chest with NBT data. Put it down, and then it has everything that you have filled inside of it. So I want to do basically the exact same thing, but with armor stands. And it looks like I have a wandering trader around here somewhere. So I have this armor stand here with protection 4 armor on. Why can't I hold down control and then pick block the armor stand and have it pick up with NBT data so that I could set that armor stand down another time and have all of the data already on the armor stand? It would have its arms, it would have all of the armor. I feel like that would add an awful lot, especially for map makers, but also just for me because I really wanted it. This next addition is something that I was shocked when I found out that this is actually not a bug, and that this is actually something that's been resolved. I've even found it in the bug tracker. The developers have said this is an intended behavior. So if you have a horse and you use a lead on it, you can lead that horse anywhere that you want. If you have a skeleton horse and you use a lead on it, nothing will happen. Same thing with a zombie horse, but I mean, that's a little bit different because that's not even developed into the game. But a skeleton horse, I mean to say, is actually developed into the game. You can get this from the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that happens whenever the crazy thunderstorms happen. A player can use a skeleton horse, and on top of that, the skeleton horse is one of the easiest ways to move around underwater because they can walk around underwater without drowning because they're already a skeleton. This is something I showed off in my building underwater video, that a skeleton horse is a great horse to have if you live underwater. And if you've been playing on a server with a lot of 4 horsemen events, then you have skeleton horses to go around. The only downside is that they cannot be led. The developers have stated that they feel like this is because it is an undead horse. It doesn't want to listen to its masters. It's not going to be able to be led. A whole bunch of malarkey. I don't agree with it. I want to be able to, if I tame a horse, it seems like it should be, especially if you tame a horse, it seems like it should be something that you should be able to lead around. I mean, it's not like sheep are really wanting to be led around or anything like that, but you can definitely lead sheep. So I feel like this is something that needs to be added to the game. The next feature that I would like is something not to do with any of this. I keep showing you how the game works in other ways and then telling you what I want to be developed into the game. So here is how the game works currently. If you have a supercharged creeper and that supercharged creeper explodes, killing another mob that can drop a skull. So there's a whole bunch of different type of skulls and heads. So you have the skeleton skull and the wither skull, and then you also have the creeper head and the zombie head and a dragon head and a player head. Well, zombies and creepers will drop that head if they are destroyed by a supercharged creeper. So we're just going to light this guy on fire. He killed him. And then there you go. You have the head that you could even wear on your player. It's a really, really cool thing to show off and to give off. But if you do the same thing for the Ender Dragon, well, the Ender Dragon does not drop its head, which we saw that in the creative menu earlier. And you can, of course, get dragon skulls, dragon heads from the ships that are in the end cities, the same ships that you get the elytra in. They'll have a dragon head at the front of that ship. And if you didn't know, Dragon's Head has a fun feature that if you add redstone to it, its mouth will go up and down, which is kind of cool. So why is it that you can get the skull from all the other creatures, but not from the dragon if it is killed by a supercharged creeper? I'm not going to do that right here, right now. That'd be really complicated, and I don't even know how you would get a supercharged creeper into the end. I mean, I know how you would do it. You would push him into the portal, and then you'd have to lure him over and then explode, cause it's a big process, but it should be able to be done if you want to do it. Maybe an achievement should be achieved. The next update that I would love for them to add into Minecraft is, this one's just for me. I feel like I am the only person in the entire world that uses F3 plus N. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll hit F3 plus Q so you can see. F3 is the debug menu in the Java edition of the game, and it has a whole bunch of extra additions if you hold down F3 and then add a letter onto it. And as you can see right here, F3 plus N, which is what I'm talking about, it will cycle the player in between creative and spectator. So if I do it right now, hit F3 and N, you'll see that I'll go from creative mode into spectator mode. So I'll switch between the two modes. And I use this all the time. So I'll be in survival. So I'll be in game mode survival and I'll be doing stuff, and then I'm finished and it's time for me to either move on to another video or just move on to another area, and I'll just hit F3 in and I'll immediately go into creative mode and be able to fly around. Maybe I'm trying to get a screenshot really quickly and I don't like how my arm is in the way, or maybe I keep bumping into blocks. I'll hit F3 in, go into spectator and be just fine. The one thing I don't like about it is all the time I have to go from either spectator or in creative mode into survival mode, and so then I have to do the long way again, and it like kind of breaks my mind. I'm using F3 in all the time when creative and spectator, but the moment I want to go back to survival / game mode survival, enter, and then there we go. I would love it if either survival was part of this whole group of things of creator and spectator, or if it had its own new button. Possibly here. Let's look at it's F3 plus Q. We'll give you that list again. What's a good thing that isn't being used? F3 plus E. Look at that. A, B, C, D. There's no E before you get to F. F3E puts you in. Well, oh, I guess that doesn't work because it opens up your inventory. 1 second. F3 plus J. It's the next letter in the alphabet. It's not being used. J doesn't do anything. F3 plus J. It's right above N. It makes the most sense. Let's do it. I could see why you wouldn't want it to be associated with F3 and N, because with F3 and N, both modes can fly. And so if you were to immediately switch from one of these modes into survival, you could take a lot of damage. So it would be nice to have it on a different key so you don't accidentally, while trying to go from survival or creative into, in creative or spectator, that you don't accidentally move into survival. I just used it again. The last update, the best update, the most intense, amazing, this will change the game forever, happens to do with this block right here. That's right, sand. Sand needs to be updated, not just for anything, but for cats. That's right, cats need to be able to use sand. How? As a litter box. That's right, cats need to poop. This is actually all comes from a conversation I had with one of the Mojangsters, one of the people who works at Mojang. I was talking with Mosh, and we were talking about crazy updates that could be added into the game. And I said, cats, you gotta add something to cats. Maybe cats could get a fish from the water. Maybe they could play with something a little bit more. And then the litter box idea came to us, and we had a good time talking about the litter box and how cats should use sand as a litter box. Sand or gravel as a litter box has to be developed into the game. Why does this not exist? Why is it that I read a book that said everybody poops, but in Minecraft nobody poops? We need to develop poop into Minecraft. We don't actually need the block. But it would be nice if animals, went about their business. And that wraps it up for my ridiculous list. Some practical, some unpractical things that I wish were developed into Minecraft. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.